welcome to class. And today we're moving towards a posture known as supta-yogdandasana. Don't worry about the name, that might be too difficult to remember. But basically, it translates into the reclining. This is the reclining variation, there's a seated variation as well. The reclining yogi stuff. And it's a bit of a twist and a hip opener at the same time. Now, the complete posture is quite difficult, but luckily, we have an easy variation, and that's all we will do today. All right. So we're doing the simple or the easy variation, which is accessible to almost everyone. With that in mind, everything we do today will work in that direction. So some forward bends, lots of hip openers, a couple of twists, that sort of stuff. Just do whatever little you can and be safe. Come on up. Let's start with a few Surya Namaskars. Coming to the front of the mat, starting with a beginner variation. Feet together, palms together. Release, let it go. And inhale, up and back. Exhale, forward bend down. Left leg, not too far, knee touching the ground. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Breathing in, cat pose upward, so that's a dipped back. Exhale, hunch. Inhale, flat. Out, down dog. Left foot all the way forward, right knee touch. Stepping together, forward bend. And breathing in, up and behind. Straighten and release. One more of that. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right leg not too far. Down dog from here. Cat pose up. Hunch. Neutral. Dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Exhale, stepping together, folding over. And breathing in, up and behind. Straighten and release. Now we take a small break over here and we'll try and work on the hips. So get down on your hands and knees. Absolutely square position. Straight arms, keep your shoulders level and try not to swing your hips when you're doing this. Right leg out to the right, more or less in line with your hip. Or in fact, let's say perfectly in line with your hip. On the inhale, right leg up in the air and down. And it doesn't have to go too high. Right leg up, down. 3, inhale, up, down. 4, up and down. Legs together, and we'll do the other side. You're still on your hands and knees. Left leg out to the left, in line with the hip. Straight arms, level shoulders, 4 times. Inhale, left leg up, down, up, down. 3, down. Last one, 4, and down. Knees together, and then slowly lift yourself up, ready for the next round of sun salutations. Surya Namaskar 1. Feet together, palms together. Release and inhale up and back. Exhale, forward bend down. Left leg all the way back, knee touch. Lift up the back knee, plank. Down to the mat, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, chest up in cobra. Exhale, hips back in dog. Left all the way forward. Forward bend. And breathing in, up and behind. Straighten, let go. And just one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right leg back, knee touch. Plank. To the mat, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Out, downward dog. Right foot forward. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, up and behind. Straighten and release. Now, let's get back into our hip work. And this time we'll do some slightly different stuff. Once again, on your hands and knees. Now, this has two movements. Remember, try not to swing the hips side to side and keep your arms absolutely straight. Keep your shoulders level. Right leg out to the right. And for this one, I might recommend pointing the foot. It'll work better. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale to the side and down. That's one. Keep going. Inhale up and back with an open hip. Exhale to the side and down. One more. Inhale up and back. Exhale to the side, then down. Get your knees together. And now we do the left leg. Left leg out to the left, in line with the hip. Perfect. Inhale up and back with an open hip. Shoulders neutral. Exhale to the side, down. Keep going. Two more. Up and back. Exhale, side, then down. Last one. Up, back, side, down. And that's it. Get your knees together. Sit back on your heels and roll your wrists. Shrug your shoulders if you like. And we're doing another one over here. Now, this is fairly simple. You've done it 100 times before, probably. Three-legged down dog. Open hip, but the only thing is you're going up and down a few times. We're not holding it in place. Now, I realize it's still the beginning of class, so if you want to slow things down or do less, you're more than welcome. Hands forward. Let's do this. Down dog. And remember, open hip. Turn the hip as you go up. Right leg 4 times. Let's go slow. Right leg up, up, up. Open the hip as high as you can manage and down with control. Inhale, right up. Exhale, down. 3, right up, down. Last one, right up and down. Okay, let's take it to the left. Left leg up, breathe in, down. Go slow, it's okay. Do less, it's okay. Left up, down. 3, left up, down. And 4, left up, turning the hip as you rise and down. Wonderful stuff. Knees down. Sit back, hips on heels, and roll your wrists. Shrug your shoulders a couple of times. And now let's continue with class. Standing postures. What we're trying to do is prepare the hips so that the forward bends get a little better. All right, that's the way we're playing it. Let's start. Hands forward, down dog. Shake about a little bit, relax. Right foot forward outside the hand, back knee touching the ground. And wait here for some time. Lift off the back knee. Step back into down dog. Stay there for one full breath. Left foot forward, outside the hand. Right knee touching the ground. Keep pushing your hips forward. So you're not doing this. You're always pushing the hips forward over here. Lift off the right knee first. Push back into down dog. Now, I'll say straight legs, but if you have to bend your knees, you're more than welcome to. Start walking back with your hands. So your hands sort of step and shuffle back, 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 all the way. And let's start with hands on shins in a half up. So it's not a complete forward bend. And if you think this is too tricky for you or too much for your lower back, you're welcome to bend the knees a bit. That's okay. Looking slightly forward without straining the neck. And let's release. Breathe in. Breathe out, knees bent, hands touch the ground. Now, of course, if you can, straight legs. If not, bent knees. Walk forward again into your down dog. Next, let's take that a little further. Right foot outside the hand, left knee touching the ground. If and only if you can, and you're welcome to use a block over here, get that left forearm down. You can keep the forearm on a block. If that's too simple, right forearm down as well. And only if you like, if you're happy over here and you want to go deeper, move your elbows a little forward and drop your forehead down to the mat. Look up, one hand at a time, get your palms on the ground. Lift off the back knee, downward facing dog, one full breath. Breathe in and out. And on the inhale, left foot outside the hand, right knee touch. Right elbow down or right forearm down. If you can, left forearm down. And maybe for some of us, elbows forward, forehead down. Look ahead, one hand at a time. Get your palms on the mat. Lift off the right knee and downward facing dog. Now, we're not waiting this time. We're walking back. If possible, straight legs, pushing through your shoulders, back, 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 all the way. And instead of hands on shins, let's say hands on ankles. If possible, straight legs. If not, that's okay. Wonderful. Knees bent, hands on the ground. Release the forward bend. Maybe you can straighten your legs again, maybe you can't. And let's walk forward into the down dog. Now, when we step forward, we'll take the foot in its usual place, and that is inside the hand, just like a normal lunge. In fact, it is a normal high lunge. Right leg all the way forward, left leg straight. Anytime you want, you can use fingertips or even blocks over here under your palms just to make it more comfortable. Back leg as straight as you can manage. Relax the neck, looking slightly forward, slightly, not too much. Push back, down dog. Hold for one breath. And left foot all the way forward, right leg straight. And down dog again, push back. Walking back with your hands. Slow, no hurry, straight legs if you can manage. And this time we'll go hands on the ground, flat palms on the ground. Some of us might need to bend the knees, and that's again okay. Looking slightly forward. Wonderful. You can bend your knees if you have to. Hands walking forward again into the down dog. And let's finish this part of class. Right leg all the way forward. Last set over here. But then left foot halfway up the mat. Once you've got that, turn the heel slightly inward, flatten the back foot. Breathe in, look up. And maybe the right knee slightly bent for now. Breathe out, fold over completely. And only if you can, right leg straight. Only if you can, do not force this. Right knee bent, look up. Okay, change legs. Step back into a down dog. Hold for 1 foot breath. Left foot all the way forward. Right foot halfway up the mat. Turning the heel in. Flatten the back foot first. Breathe in, look ahead. And breathe out, fold over your thigh. If you like, left leg straight. Left knee bent. Inhale, look up. Exhale, walk back into dog. And here's our final one, the final part of this part of the sequence. Walking back with your hands. Breathe in, look up. Now remember, you can bend both your knees, no problem at all. Breathe out, fold over completely. So if you want to start with bent knees, that's okay. Reach around your shins, grab the heels, and pull your body down even more. And maybe you can straighten the legs, maybe you can't. All okay. Beautiful. Knees bent. Bend your knees even more. It's almost like a squat. Get your hips down and inhale all the way up. Now let's just release the lower back a little bit before we continue. Feet stuck together. Utkatasana, squat, but with a slight curve in the back. Now, if you have the space, take your arms out from the side. If you don't have the space, just take them out from the front. Let's go. Inhale, knees bent, curving the back, bum sticking out, arms up. If possible, you can join your palms and look up. But if that's not possible, keep your palms apart and just look forward. The key for this variation is to point your fingers up to the ceiling, not forward, and definitely not back. Release. More than enough. Let it go. Okay. Let's do a couple of twists since we're here. Come to the front of the mat. Breathe in. Fold over. Left leg back. Knee touching the ground. Now we're revolving in the lunge. We're twisting in the lunge. And we'll keep it easy for the first one. We will not straighten the back leg. You'll keep the back knee down, but really try and turn as much as you can manage. Body up. Left arm up. Breathe in. Exhale, cross over to the right and go as deep as you can. Once you've got that, press your palms into each other and really focus on the turn. Release, hands down, and let's change legs. Down dog. Left foot all the way forward, right knee touch, body up, right arm up. With an inhale, really lengthen up. Exhale, start the twist. Turn, turn, turn. Then, when you've got the twist, push your hands into each other. Really focusing on the turn, nothing else. We're not going to straighten the right leg today. Release. Hands down to the ground. Step back into your dog. And now this next one is a little tricky. Right leg all the way forward. All the way. Nice and long lunge. Back knee touching the ground. Now, if you like, you can keep your back toes this way. Maybe you'd like to point them, whatever works for you. I'll ask you to walk back with your hands until the hip is directly above the knee. Now we're doing something different over here. It's like a revolving triangle, but in this position, right? In this half split kind of position. So if you want to make it easier, you want to use blocks, be my guest. There is a much harder way to do the complete posture, but let's just play it easy. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, left hand stays on the ground. Turn to the right. There we go. And if you can manage, right arm up. Beautiful. Both hands down. Walk your hands forward so you return to the lunge, bending the right knee as you do this. That's perfect. And move into a down dog. Left all the way forward. Right knee touch. Long, really long lunge. Maybe pointing the back foot, maybe not. Walk your hands back. As you do this, your left leg straightens out. Using blocks if you need them, breathe in, look ahead. Right hand stays on the ground. Turn to the left, starting with your hand on your lower back. Whenever you're ready, left arm up. Now, there's no need to look up at the ceiling. That might disrupt your balance. Just looking to the side is good enough. Both hands down. Bending the front knee as you walk your hands forward. You've returned to the lunge. And then push back into a downward facing dog. Stay here for a while. Standing posture is done for today. Down, knees down, legs out in front of you. All right, just relax your knees a little bit. Lean back. It's completely okay. Lean back a little bit. Shake about some. Yeah, there we go. Now, we're getting into the preparatory part of one-legged royal pigeon, Ek Pad Rajkapotasan. Like I said, don't worry about the names at all. Now, in its entirety, it's a very strong back bend. But today we're not using it for the back bend at all. In fact, we're trying to still work the hips. We're preparing for the posture that I mentioned in the beginning, the yogi stuff. All right. So we're still preparing. Do not try and do back bends. We're working the hip. Let's start. Down dog. Now keep a block close by. You might need it. Down dog. Right knee all the way forward, close to the hand. Right knee. Once you've got this going on, cross the foot inward. Touch the back knee to the ground. And if your hips are floating above ground, if you can go all the way down, that's fantastic. But if your hips are up in the air, then it just makes so much sense to take a block and place it under the right hip or the right thigh, even. So this just makes it so much easier. Forget easier, it makes it safer. That's what you want. There we go. Preparatory position for the one-legged pigeon. Breathe in. Breathe out. Go forward and get your forearms on the ground. And let's wait here for a few seconds. Breathe in again. And if you can, on the exhale, take your hands further forward and get your forehead down to the ground. Slow look up. And using your hands, come only halfway up. That's it. You're still leaning forward. You're not coming all the way up. Now things change a little bit, and this might be slightly confusing. You got both your hands on the ground here. Right hand moves into that space. Right hand moves in. You're trying to touch the side of your right arm to the ground. Keep turning. Now your hips are not turning, it's only the chest. And this is all you need to do. But if you'd like to go further, here's where you bend your elbows, push your palms into each other, and turn just a little bit more. Not with the hips. Your hips are still facing the ground. Beautiful. Hands on the mat. Slowly pushing yourself to halfway only, just halfway. And now we're going the other way. Breathe in. Left arm travels inside that space, turning your chest to face the right side. Push, push, turn. And if you like, once again, palms pushing into each other. Maybe you're magnifying the turn, maybe not. Release, hands down, helping yourself up into halfway position. Now, this bit is extremely important. When you're moving from here into your down dog, you do not use your front leg at all. As you lift back, you lift with the strength of your arms and your back leg. Your front leg does nothing. Tuck the toes under. Lift. Your right leg does absolutely nothing. It just goes back. It does not help you to push. And move about a little bit in the down dog. One heel up, one heel down. Giving your knees some rest. Giving your right hip some rest. Then let's go to the other side. Left knee all the way forward. Once you come here, cross the foot inward. Right knee down, right thigh down. If you can, hips down as well. So as we mentioned before, if you like, a block onto the left hip. So, what you want over here is think about it. Don't look. You can't see it, just feel it. Think about it. You want your right kneecap to really be facing into the ground. So, not turning out like that. You see the difference? No. Your right kneecap is looking at the ground. Perfect. Let's start. Breathe in and exhale down onto your forearms. Always waiting for a few seconds, deciding whether you should or shouldn't go deeper. Breathe in. If you like, exhale, hands forward and head down. Look up and slowly, using your hands, come into halfway up, just halfway. Now, this time you will turn to the right first. So, left arm traveling into that space, turning your chest to face the right. Remember, do not turn the hips. Turn, turn, turn. If possible, palm into palm, pushing against each other. But whatever you do, don't turn the hips. You're welcome to do less. Release, hands down, coming up into halfway. Breathing out, right hand travels in into that space you got over there between hand and knee. Turn, turn as much as you can, maybe palm into palm. Push. Now, when you're here, stay in control of your neck. Do not let your head drop down to the ground. Release, hands down. Return to halfway. Nice and slow. Tuck your toes under at the back. Lifting with the help of your arms and your right leg. Left leg doesn't push. Lift. Left leg doesn't push. Step back into down dog and use the down dog to relax your left knee. Walk about a little bit. Move your hips side to side if you need to. And let's get down to the ground. Right, so we've almost come to the final part, or let's say the final stage. It's not the end yet. We've come to the final stage of the practice. So a little more work on the hips, and then we'll actually reach the posture that we were aiming to do all this time. Let's begin. Legs out in front. Now, soles of the feet touch. This is not the butterfly. This is not the bound angle. Yeah? But the Konasana, this is not it. It's different. Soles of the feet touch, but far away from you. But make sure your feet are absolutely together. Now, you have two choices over here, hands on your feet, in which case your elbows go out, or to make it even simpler, hands on the ground, in which case you sort of crawl forward with your hands. Here's the important thing, you're not pulling yourself down at all. You're just folding forward. Even if you're one third of the way, doesn't matter. It's okay. Now, another big difference between this and the bound angle or the butterfly is that you're not trying to push your knees down at all. You just let them be wherever they are. All right, let's go. Soles of the feet touch far away from you. Hands on your feet or hands on the ground if you want to make it easier. Breathe in, breathe out. If you got hands on feet, it's elbows bending outward. If you got hands on the ground, you're just sliding forward. Try to rest your forehead on your heels. Now, if you can't rest, it's okay. Do less. We're not pulling. Push either into your feet or into the ground. Inhale, half up, and exhale, release from the side. Lean back for a moment, straight legs, point and flex the feet, shake your feet side to side, maybe even bouncing the knees a little bit. Okay, and now we'll do the butterfly. But good news, we're doing less, yeah, only about halfway, if at all. Soles of the feet touch, knees out to the side. Now, before we continue, just a little word of advice over here. Now, if I might ask you to sit on a block, I might suggest that you sit on a block. And there might be two reasons for that. So, one is if your knees are too high up, you will sit on a block. And the second is if you're rounding your lower back, if you're hunching up, then you're better off sitting on a block. So, if you find any of those happening to you, knees too high, your back hunching, just sit on a block. That'll make it more sensible. Okay, back as straight as possible. Hold on to the feet, breathe in. Look slightly upward and then start leaning forward from the hip. Now we're not going all the way down today. We're stopping at 1/3 or halfway, no more than this. Just a tiny bit. Maybe you're doing 1/4. It doesn't matter. So think about two things. Folding forward from the hips, that's one. And the second is back as flat as possible. We're not going all the way down. Wonderful. Inhale up. Lean back, release your legs. Legs out in front of you. And once again, point and flex. Side to side, shake. And a little bit of a bounce in the knees. Okay, that's it. We're here. We're at our target posture for today. Now, I'll show this to you first. I'll demonstrate it in with two different views. So I'll do it forward facing, I'll do it sideways facing so that you can see exactly what's going on. And I'll have you know that we're not doing the complete posture. The complete posture has your foot on top of your arm over here. We're not doing that. That's a bit too difficult for many of us. So we'll just avoid that. We'll make it more accessible and more sensible. All right, let's see. Now I'll show it forward facing first. Don't be confused. Don't do it just yet. So I've got my legs out to the right. I turn to the left. Okay. From here, right leg crosses over. Now the foot points exactly where I'm looking, not to the front, but to the side where I'm looking. To make it harder or to make it stronger, you can actually move this foot further forward away from the leg. Now from here, you'll slowly go down, try and get your chest on the ground. If you've got that, arms out to the side, maybe even grabbing onto that left foot. Now, if you notice, my foot is under my shoulder or my armpit over here. It's right under the upper arm. You don't have to get there. Let me give you another view. So here's where you are. Right leg crosses over. Toe pointing to where I'm facing. Moving it further forward to make it harder. Then really slow, using your hands for help. Get your chest down to the ground, if that's okay. Arms out to the side. All right. That's what we're doing. Reclining yogi's staff, supta-yogdandasana. Now, to make it more understandable for you, so you don't have to twist your head in funny ways, make sure you're facing the screen. Like I am right now, exactly like I am. Face the screen. Now, maybe your screen is inverted, so don't worry about what it looks like. Please listen to the instructions as far as right and left is concerned. All right? So don't let the vision mess about with you. Legs to the right, both legs to the right, to your right, wherever that might be. And you're still facing the screen. Right foot crossing over, pointing the toes to the right. To make it a little stronger, you can leave your foot there, but if you like, you can make it a little stronger by moving that foot further away from the thigh. Once you've got that, with the help of your hands, slowly take your chest down to the ground. And now when you straighten your right arm, your foot is directly under you. Straighten your left arm. If at all possible, you can grab onto that left foot. So if you haven't gone down, don't bother with the grabbing. Slow, palms on the ground, push yourself back up and uncross. Release the legs. Still facing the screen, both legs to your left, and you're facing the screen. Left foot crossing over, toes pointing to where you are facing. To make it harder, move the foot further away from your thigh. Once you've got that, hands on the ground, use your hands for assistance. Get your chest down. If you are down, right arm straight, left arm straight. Some of us will actually grab the right foot. Forget about grabbing the foot if you think that's too confusing for you. Beautiful. Hands on the ground, push yourself up. And legs out in front of you, relax. Beautiful stuff. Straight legs, hands behind. Lean back, rest. Point and flex the feet. Shake your feet side to side. And a little bounce in the knees. Okay, time to counterpose all of that so that when you finish class, your back is not tired or strained. Let's do some very minimal back bends just to give the lower back a little contraction. Lying face down. Both hands forward, absolutely straight arms. Fingertips pushing into the ground. Get your chest up just a little bit. Just a bit. Now, you really don't have to go too high, but remember, we're not swinging the shoulders, all right? From here, right arm up. Exhale down. Left arm up. Keep your shoulders steady. Down. Right. Down. Left. Down. And finally, both. You don't have to go too high. Keep your feet down. We're not lifting the feet today. And release. Head down, relax. All right, nice and slow, using your hands, help yourself up. Sit on your knees. So that was bringing the upper back into neutral. Now let's focus a little bit on the lower back. And to do that, we'll do a very awkward looking, a very sort of beginner way of doing the camel. All right. Now, if your knees hurt, all you need to do is come up here, put your hands on your hips, and curve back a little bit. If you got pain in the knees and you don't like being seated on your knees, then that's what you will do. But otherwise, and like I said, this does not look pretty, but that's okay. We know what we're doing. All right. You're going to be sitting on your heels, knees a little apart will make it easier, feet a little apart makes it easier. Now, instead of getting hands on feet like we should for the camel, we're making this way easier. All right, it's not a very deep back bend. Get your hands on the ground behind you. Let me just show you first, and then we can do it all together. Hands on the ground, breathe in, make sure you open up the chest, and breathe out, lift up the hips. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to ask you to push your hips forward like we normally should in the camel in Ustrasana. We're just doing that much. That's all. And we're doing it to release the lower back. So much easier than usual. Go. Seated on your knees, hips on heels. Hands behind. Breathe in, chest and shoulders open. Make sure your belly is flat and exhale, hips up. Do not push your tummy out. Now you can keep your neck neutral or you can drop your head all the way back. Okay, hips down, that's enough. And gently push yourself back into vertical position. That bit is done. Next, releasing or counterposing the hips. We've done a lot of hip opening today, so let's counterpose the hips. Get on your hands and knees, keep your blocks close by. We're going into the cow face, Gomukhasana. Starting with knees absolutely stuck together. From here, right leg crosses over the left. So right thigh crosses over the left as deep as possible. So hopefully you don't want any space in there. Thighs touching each other. Now, widen your feet. So a little more space in between your feet. Remember to take your block with you if you're sitting on a block. Travel back with your hands and get your hips down either on the ground or on a block and just hold on to that left foot so that it doesn't slip away. And all we're doing today is just seated absolutely straight. We should have an arm bind over here, but we're not going to bother with that. Just straight back, prevent your feet from slipping away. Breathe in. And as you exhale, lean forward, hands touch the ground. Walk forward with your hands. Right leg, release. And take that same right leg and plant it behind the left this time. Once you've got that right, feet a little apart, walking back with your hands, sitting down on the ground or on a block, and holding on to your feet so that they don't slip apart. Wonderful. Release, hands on the ground. Move forward. Let go of the legs and sit with your legs out in front of you. That's it. We're done with class. We just have our resting posture to do. So instead of doing the shoulder stand, today you'll do a Viparit Karni, the inverted attitude. And to make it even simpler, we'll do it with blocks. Now, if you wanted to make this even easier, you do it with your legs against the wall, but I think we can avoid that bit. Now, two flat blocks is perfect. If you don't have two flat blocks, you can use one, but of course, two or even three will work better. Watch, this is what you're doing. Don't do it just yet. Watch. You start lying down on the ground, knees bent. Lift up the hips and get the blocks under your hips, not under the lower back. Now, once you've got that, arms comfortably beside you, not far away, comfortably beside you, focus on pushing your chest up to the ceiling. So you've created a bit of a back bend, yeah, and in the upper back more than anything else. No strain, no stress. From here, you go one knee up, other knee up, and then legs straight up. Now, it's not the easy shoulder stand, so you're not doing this. You're not getting your feet above your face. Your feet are in line with your hips, or more or less. And if that's too much, you can even bend the knees a little bit. That's fine. But keep that slight curve in the upper back. That's how we're finishing today. Viprit Karni. So let's do this together. Lying down on the ground, knees bent. Inhale, hips up. Get the blocks under you, under the hips, not under the lower back. Once the blocks are in place, straight arms beside you, chest open. Very important. Keep that chest open like you're constantly trying to push your sternum towards your chin. One knee up, wait. Other knee up, wait. And whenever you're ready, legs straight up. If you want a slight bend in the knees is okay. In line with your hips. Now the wall behind your legs would have made it much easier, but we're not doing that. Do not tighten your arms. Let your arms relax. So there's a small amount of effort required to keep the legs straight or almost straight. And there's a small amount of effort, very tiny, required to keep that curve in the upper back. Everything else is quite chilled out. Knees bent, one foot down, other foot down to the ground. Lift up your hips, get rid of the blocks. And when you come down slow, such that your lower back touches the ground before your hips touch the ground. Slow, lower back first, and then finally the hips. Straight legs, eyes shut. Knees bent. Drop to the side, slowly push yourself up. Simple cross legs. Straight back. Palms touch, breathe in. And breathe out. A little bow of gratitude over here. Normal breath.